Stadium in Mexico City, one of the greatest sporting sites in the world, is the scene for tonight's game. And the big news is that the England match winner Gary Lineker is fit to play. So too is the midfield man Peter Reid. And the other team news is that Terry Fenwick returns to the defence in place of Alvin Martin, with the awesome task, presumably, of marking the great Diego Maradona. With me here to discuss that and enjoy the match with you at home are the former England World Cup captain Keegan, who will be joining us in just a moment, and also two other former England internationals, Jimmy Greaves and Mike Channon. So we've got three passionate Englishmen hoping for a real night to remember. Diego Maradona, Argentina's number 10, the most famous and the most expensive player in the game. The kaleidoscope of skills for which European clubs have paid £9 million have kept alive the only remaining South American challenge for this championship. Number 10 for England, Gary Lineker, concentrates on doing one thing well. He scores goals, nearly won a game this season, virtually unknown abroad before Mexico '86. 5 goals later, he leads the World Cup scoring list, a major transfer target for the richest clubs on earth. What a prospect tonight. But now we can get across to the Azteca Stadium, where the England players arrived last hour or so ago. Earlier today, Bobby Robson told us on ITV how well Alvin Martin had played for England in the last game. Jim Rosenthal asked him why he'd chosen Terry Fenwick then for this one.
Well, I don't have to, for a start. I don't have to explain that to anybody. I don't even have to explain that to my chairman. And if I did, I wouldn't be in a job, I don't think. Terry Fenwick did well in the earlier stages. I'd made up my mind about him anyway. What we do need is that in the event of people losing form or suspensions or injuries, people can step in, do the job, and if necessary, have to step out. It's tough for Alvin Martin because he did play very well. His best ever international match under me. So it was a tough decision, cruel. I understand how the lad feels. Terry Fenwick would have been disappointed also, so you can't please everybody in this game, you know. It's a matter of selection.
I must say I feel for Alvin. He's a smashing lad. He's done great when he's been in. But I'm ever so pleased I'm there myself.
Well, Gary, back home, people are saying Gary Lineker is now almost as big a star or bigger than Maradona. How do you react to all that?
Well, I hope so after today, but no, Maradona's he's probably the best player in the world at the moment, so there's no doubt about that. Hopefully we'll stop him today and perhaps we can sneak one in at the other end.
Do you think we'll still be in the World Cup at the end of today?
Well, I mean, who knows? Yes, we're confident. We're going to give it the gun. We're going to give it everything we've got. And let's hope that that will do the trick. The players know what it means to everybody back home. They know what it means to them. So we're doing it for everybody.
And in a moment we should be talking about Bobby's team selection. But now we're all set for England against Argentina. Another hat-trick from Gary Lineker, of course, wouldn't go amiss tonight. Gary is something of a superstitious young man. He's sticking by a pair of old boots that are practically worn out. He won't have his hair cut until England either win the World Cup or they're out of it. And he's insisted on the same pre-match build-up. And that includes, as it did against Paraguay, a message for all of us back here.
Here we are at the Aztec. We're going to give it all we've got. Be sure and join us here on ITV after the break.
Come back to you. So Terry Fenwick plays in the England defence in place of Alvin Martin. Keegan, Jimmy Greaves, Mike Channon here with me. What's your first reaction to that?
Me? Oh, shocked and stunned. Shocked and stunned. I really felt that Alvin Martin came in and did a great job. And with due respect to Terry Fenwick, I thought he was struggling in the early games. He doesn't normally play in that position. And I thought he was getting called out quite a lot.
I think he's a good marker, though, isn't he?
Which,
well, he will need to be.
He'll need to be, won't he?
I think the reason he's done it is, I think one thing we said the other night before the game, although Martin's very good in his position and so is Butcher, the two of them are very much alike. And obviously he's happier with someone with a little bit more pace. I know Fenwick hasn't played out of his skin in the first 2 games and he's given away a couple of silly tackles and that. But he is more mobile, and I think that's what they're watching for, especially with Maradona knocking balls.
He hasn't got a lot of pace, Kev. Not really.
Let me just go, sorry Michael, before I'd like just to go to David Pleat, if I may, in the Azteca Stadium. David, there's a certain surprise here at the choice of Terry Fenwick. Is that shared by you in Mexico City?
Well, I think you have to understand that Bobby Robson knows his players better than anyone. He'll have had good reports on the Argentinians. He knows exactly what he wants. And although Maradona will probably play further up the field today, it's important that we cut off the supply to him, that Fenwick gets tight to him, and we give him extra cover.
Are you confident about the task facing England?
I think that we can win it. I think we've got a strong backbone. Shilton's played exceptionally well the whole tournament. Butcher's been in fine form. Reid and Hoddle have been good allies to each other, and Lineker and Beardsley have played up front well too.
Good, David. Thank you very much. Where David's talking about Maradona maybe playing further upfield now and cutting off the supply, I'm sure he's the first to appreciate that many clubs and many national sides have said that's what they have to do. Whether, in fact, you can do it is another matter.
I don't think he will. I think he's going to drop off and pick it up. I mean, he's that type of player.
He runs the show. It doesn't go. He won't play up in Fenwick's territory. If Fenwick's going to mark him, as David seems to think, then Fenwick's going to be going almost playing up front in front of Beardsley at times.
I'll be honest with you. I think that we ought to flood midfield. I mean, regardless of whatever happens, and keep our back four nice and tight up behind them. Because the more people we get in midfield, we stop the supply to Maradona, and then I can't see that we could snuff him out there for me.
We have got to put a 35-yard exclusion zone between us and that goal. And that's it, isn't it?
Well,
We've got to
right.
stop them getting there.
But
and as you say, if you flood the midfield, you might do it that way.
You know, for me, like, I think that's our only way. I'm surprised they played Fenwick. I think he had a nightmare in the first three competitions. He nearly got us knocked out of the competition with a bad square pass.
I mean, there is a view that he does tend to give away a few free kicks rather on the edge of a penalty area with Mr. Maradona around. That could prove.
Well, what we've seen in this World Cup so far, I don't think the fear that we had about free kicks has been justified. We haven't seen very many good ones at all. But I definitely think the two big lads, Martin and Butcher, have their faults too when the two of them are paired together. In that the little quick, you've seen Maradona. We keep seeing that clip from when we played against them in Wembley, when Maradona went round 5 people like they don't exist. Obviously, someone a little bit more mobile, which definitely Fenwick is. There's no doubt about that.
But I understand what you're saying, Ken. But for me, the two central defenders, they're as good a defenders as we got, and we should keep them together, squeeze our back four, and let them have it wide. They've got no one who's going to score with their head. That's for sure.
Fenwick being that more, you know, because he has actually put us in a lot of trouble in our opening games.
Can I take you on to another point? Sorry, Jane, to another point. Talking to Bobby Robson there a moment ago, and I spoke to him earlier this afternoon on another programme, he seemed very relaxed and very comfortable. I think you got the impression there, Jimmy, that he started to look a little anxious and a little nervy.
Well, he is a very unsure manager, isn't he? He always has been. I remember when he was manager of Ipswich and they had a really great side. And Bill Shankly said to him, when are you going to tell your side you can win the league championship? Because Bobby was always a little bit, well, I don't know, and a little bit unsure. And that can, at times, reflect through the team. Yes. And I think at times, Bobby, we all tend to look at the manager, but the manager needs help.
Yes.
And let's hope he's got one or two there that are helping him, calm him down.
I think he's been a credit to our game over these last 2 or 3 difficult weeks.
He's been wonderful.
He's been cheerful, he's been positive in the things he said.
He's the best England manager we've had in many ways, and that includes Alf Ramsey, because he's been open, he's been honest, and he's given all of us in the media everything we've ever asked for, and he's explained.
In 3 games' time, wouldn't you?
Yes. Could be right. Could be right.
We hope you're right.
I think he's grown with the World Cup, but there was a sign in that interview, just as you would expect, just like players would. It's all right in the hotel saying, "Oh, it's just another game." It's all this. When you actually get there and you sense the atmosphere and the tension, you can't help but come through, and it came through an interview.
To be fair,
I think it's a good thing.
To be fair to him, like I said, probably the last thing he wanted, wasn't it? You know, was to talk to the the media.
I think he forgot to put the old Grecian 2000 on as well today. It looks as though he missed out on that.
I think we're here quivering, and we'll quiver every time Maradona gets hold of the ball. I'm just wondering whether people in Argentina will be feeling the same way when Mr. Lineker.
I think they're wrong to compare the two. I mean, I know it's inevitable, but they're totally different players, aren't they? Maradona, he runs the show. He goes everywhere, does everything, takes a free kick. Gary relies to a great extent on the service that he gets to him. All his goals, great as he's taken them, have been set up by other people.
I think also what you say about Maradona is that they do have other good players in the side as well. Valdano looks particularly dangerous in and around the box. So it's not just a situation of Maradona versus England or whatever.
I think it's about us as a team. You know, we've got Hoddle who can do things, knock great balls through. We've got Beardsley who can go by people. You know, we've got Lineker who can score goals, you know.
That's the difference. We have got a team. We've got 4 or 5 potential match winners. I think they've got Maradona, possibly Valdano if Maradona starts getting by people, knocking crosses in. And that's where we've got our advantage. We're a team, and they're an individual with probably a less effective team, and that's going to be the key, you know, as far as I'm concerned. Our teamwork, can we win it together? If we stick together, we can beat these.
Are you saying that we're going to win this one tonight?
Well, I'm confident. You know, that's why I was late. I was in the toilet as well. I think I had a touch of the Bobby Robsons.
I think we all think we win. I do anyway. I don't know about Jim.
Well, I want him to tip Argentina.
All my tips have gone down. Hungary, Italy, Mexico and Brazil have all gone down, so I'm keeping with Argentina with the same hope.
The nation breathes a sigh of relief, James. As we go across to the Azteca, they're just about to wait, just about to the national anthems. Let's join David Pleat and Martin Tyler.
Thank you, Brian. You do join us at the national anthems. The Azteca Stadium, again a contrast between a perfect setting for spectators, close to its capacity of 115,000, and a pitch that's in such need of repair that neither team was allowed to train on it yesterday. So the formalities completed, a match to whet the appetite. England, I think, have achieved what has been expected. It would have been a disappointment not to have reached the quarter-finals. So anything now really is a bonus. The players are relaxed, the strain of being away for 6.5 weeks not really showing, but they are respectful of Argentina and especially Diego Maradona. Both yesterday's quarter-finals, of course, went the full distance. As we look at the Argentina team, they've shown their respect for Bobby Robson's men by leaving out a forward, Pedro Pasculi, who struck the winner against Uruguay. And they've included an extra midfield player, the number 12, Hector Enrique. Maradona's presence always attracts attention, and rightly so. But heading the supporting cast, Jorge Burruchaga, who plays in France, and Real Madrid's Jorge Valdano. Bobby Robson has reverted to the side which beat Poland. Terry Fenwick regaining that central defensive position alongside Terry Butcher after his suspension, with Alvin Martin stepping down. The one injury doubt concerned Peter Reid, but his ankle has responded to the short rests since the Paraguayan game. No one has been given a specific marking role on Diego Maradona, but he won't be short of attention, with the England players, to quote coach John Howe, sharing the load. Gary Lineker did skip training on Friday, but the only real worry for him has been the state of his boots. They're beginning to split. He hopes the pair that have been so prolific will be required for 2 more games here, and of course he'll strap them up if necessary. Ali Ben Nasser, a 42-year-old Tunisian, is the referee. He's assisted by Bernie Ulloa from Costa Rica and Bogdan Dochev of Bulgaria. The Costa Rican linesman Ulloa. A lot of support for Argentina in the stadium. We reckon around 5,000 England followers here. Great responsibility really on Argentina, the only Latin American survivors. An England win today would guarantee a European world champion. and the 5 previous competitions in Latin America have been won by South American nations. David, as we look at that pitch again, gifted footballers, like any artist, need a proper canvas on which to paint. The top surface is loose.
I think they've worked at the pitches that the tournament's gone on. They've received so much criticism locally and, of course, from all over the world. They haven't worked extra hard on it. And, of course, it's been raining heavily in the evenings here, and that would have helped it too. It's looking in better condition than so far.
Pasculi amongst the 5 Argentinian substitutes. For England, Ray Wilkins has served his too-much ban and is named amongst Bobby Robson's 5. But there's no place for Mark Hateley, with Chris Waddle and John Barnes the possible forward replacements. Gary Stevens, who's done a useful job as a player who can fill in anywhere, really, and he laid on England's 3rd goal here against Paraguay for Gary Lineker. Are you surprised, David, that Mark Hateley's not there amongst the 5?
Not particularly. I mean, Beardsley and Lineker have combined very well together. They've got better as the tournament's gone on, and Bobby Robson struck on a winning combination, and let's hope it continues today. I don't feel anyone that's not on the field today can feel they've been unjustly treated.
England wearing their light blue shorts from their change trip. Argentina have also had to change from their blue and white stripes to shirts of all dark blue. Winning isn't everything in sport, but trying to win certainly is. The players are well aware of your dreams and expectations back home, and they'll be giving their all for a place here in the semi-final of the 1986 World Cup. Away we go.